What the intent is to have comprehensive, pro-growth tax reform
David
that
Walker,
simplifies the system,
Texas Ranger,
and makes us more competitive on a global basis. That's the objective. The fact of the matter is, this is his proposal. It is comprehensive tax reform. There'll have to be some negotiation, obviously. We are much more likely to get comprehensive tax reform as a result of President-elect Trump's election, as a result of the fact that we now have the Republicans in charge of both the Senate and the House. Although you have to keep in mind, it takes 60 votes to get something done in the Senate unless you use budget reconciliation. And to use budget reconciliation, which is a simple majority
people would
vote,
never use that for a really big thing, to push something through. Didn't they do that on Obamacare?
The answer is yes, okay?
Right. They would never do that.
And when you think about it, okay, whether you talk about tax reform, healthcare reform, immigration reform, infrastructure reform, regulatory relief, all of these have a fiscal impact. And so what's important is to be able to figure out, what do you want to do? You may have to do it in installments, but we have a real opportunity here to make transformational reforms, not just in the tax area, but in the regulatory area. At the same time, you're going to have to do something about spending.
But Joe makes a really important point in that because you're putting money back in the pockets of spenders, I think that's one reason the market went up yesterday.
Because it leads to growth.
Because it leads to growth. And also the people who own most of the stocks just realize they're going to have more money to invest, to spend, and to save.
But rising interest rates, people worry about them. But do you know the relief I felt when I saw 2% on there, that we can do that? We can actually get an economy that can support above 2% on the 10-year. Don't we want to do that? Don't we want to get back to normal?
I think it's two things. Number one, people believe that there's more opportunity for growth because of a combination of the kinds of things that we've talked about. And secondly, in the international community, and I travel quite a bit overseas, there was a lot of fear of Trump. But frankly, his acceptance speech, or victory speech, if you will, people now are starting to understand there's a difference between a campaign and governing. There is a fundamental difference, all right? And so I think, their initial apprehension is somewhat eased, if you will.